All right, what's going on, everyone? Courtney Rollins with the Life in Transitions Experts podcast, the owner and CEO of State Pro Service LLC, where we help families navigate the probate process, at times help people avoid the probate process, and certainly help people come up with hopefully viable solutions to property that's involved in the estate. And occasionally, well, not even occasionally, quite often help people even who aren't going through probate but need some type of solution for their property. Try to give some viable solutions. As I work with practitioners in this space, quite often folks ask me what is the difference between a probate and pre-probate. Sometimes they call them leads because these are folks that may lead to somebody you can give service to, support, help. Um, and yeah, so quite often folks like me, one of the hats I wear is a real estate investor, and one of the ways that I am able to find properties to get them at a hopefully at a discount is by offering services and offering support that warrant that. Quite often, people who are going through probate end up with property that they either need to sell because there's dues or debt in the estate, or perhaps they've inherited a property that they did not want the responsibility for, and they need and want a quick, convenient sell. And so, quite often, I can offer that solution for them. And so practitioners quite often ask me, or people who are wanting to do the same thing that I do, what is the difference between a probate and a pre-probate lead? So we're going to look at four differences today. All right, so let's do that. And if you have not hit that like and subscribe, I really would appreciate that. If you're listening to this, go check out the YouTube as well because it is on the I do have slide that are prepared, so it makes it a little more visual. And for those visual learners, hopefully it'll connect more. So, probate is simply the legal process of settling the affairs of someone who's passed away. Their estate, their assets, their debt all have to be distributed and addressed based on the state laws in accordance to the will, if there's a will that's a valid will. If there isn't a valid will, then there is the administration based on the state's law. So that's what probate is essentially in a nutshell. Free probate really involves all the activities that occur before someone's officially filed the probate process. Now, I focus in North Carolina, specifically in Durham County, North Carolina, and so the probate process may be different in different states based on just different nuances. The overall general theme is the same, and there may be some significant difference as well. So I'm not an attorney, and I'm not giving legal advice as well. So I wanted to make sure I have that caveat there. But from my experience, definitely would willing to share, and hopefully people can appreciate that. So yeah, so you're look at the comments down there. That must be formatting issues. But regardless, it's the preliminary steps. Gathering the assets. A lot of the pre-probate activities can take place during probate, but it can, if you get things in order, help you streamline the process because probate can be long and tedious. And here's some of the key points about probate. It is definitely time consuming. It involves a lot of filing and administration. It can be costly and it's public. So those are really four reasons why I really encourage people to take a serious look at their estate plan and make sure that they're doing things right now that could help their family avoid probate when they do pass, or make sure their loved ones have that set up so that you're not going through the probate process. It is not something you really want to go through, and it can be avoidable with the proper legal remedies in place before you pass. Now, key things about pre-probate is quite often the information is not public yet because no one has filed yet. And again, if you do get your stuff in order, it can help streamline the probate process. And although both involve emotion because someone's passed away, quite often pre-probate is a little closer to the passing of someone, and that you can imagine can involve a lot of emotional um, uh, just processes that need to take place. Quite often, when someone's finally gone to file probate, not always, but quite often I've found that the grieving process is a little later on the stage where it's not as emotionally high. But again, time is can heal a lot, but it's still someone who's passed away, so it's different for every person. And you should be sensitive and empathetic in every situation when you're talking to someone who's going through probate or has not filed probate yet. So some key differences between probate and pre-probate. Number one, timing, right? So pre-probate again is prior. It's focused on gathering materials beforehand, um, while probate occurs uh, after someone. Probate is the official start of the process when you go and file to be the executor or the administrator based on the state and based on if there's a will. Two, the purpose, right? The purpose, probate is the form, the legal process, right? And it focuses on settling the affairs, making an account of all the inventory, making an account of where everything was distributed, who was paid, all of that. Again, pre-probate is the preliminary task. It helps facilitate the probate process, but it's prior, so the purposes are a little different. Probate is more formal and legal. The pre-probate purpose is to get things together. And then the activities that you're going to do, number three, are again, some of them are similar, but some are different. Like probate, you have to validate, make sure the will is valid. Sometimes you have to appraise the assets or find a suitable uh, valuation for the properties that are within the estate. You have to pay the debt. You have to distribute the assets according to the will or according to the laws. Um, and I sound like I'm repeating myself, but pre-probate, you're identifying potential heirs, identifying potential contacts, because you will have to notify everyone who is a potential heir or beneficiary. Anyone who has a vested interest would be notified for probate. So the activities are slightly different. And then the fourth one, as we stated before, is the public record. Probate is a matter of public record, regardless of who you are. If you are going through probate, from Aretha Franklin, Prince, and other people who have passed, their properties was open to everyone because they did not have. Well, they did have wills, but a will still has to go through probate. They didn't have their properties or much of their stuff in secure places like trust or having beneficiaries designated so that it doesn't have to go through the probate process. Whereas pre-probate can handled privately. Eventually, it will have to become public if they do decide to go through the probate process. So it's important to understand where that person is or where the state is, because it may change your approach. If you are a practitioner trying to help someone, I still just recommend you come in with big ears, listening, a big heart, able to empathize, and ready to get your hands dirty to help them streamline the process and make it as least complicated as possible. If you do need support in your real estate journey, helping people through the probate process, because again, it definitely is related to real estate. Quite often, is property involved in a probate. Um, Definitely reach out, schedule a time. Would love to sit with you and see how I can be a part of your journey. If you need support doing probate or even creating plans, estate plans, so that you can avoid probate, both, I have a great relationship with Trust and Wills and would love to share that that leverage that relationship with you. So feel free to give me a contact as well, and we can send that over to you so that you can have that as a resource. All right. So this is Courtney Rollins with the Life in Transitions Experts podcast, signing off as I always do, saying, let your light shine. Cheers.